Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Empress Lee. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about 6 things you should never tell a man. Like, never ever. But before we get into this, make sure you subscribe and you tap the notification bell so you can get updates on new videos that I post, because why wouldn't you want to see them? Anyway, starting at number 1, because you guys know I don't pause videos or none of that. Number 1 I have, you don't like his mom. Okay, I kind of got choked up on this one and I shouldn't have. But yeah, never ever tell a man that you don't like his mom. I don't care if she's a bitch. I don't care if she's the complete B word. Never ever ever tell a man that you don't like his mom. Try to make things work. Try to talk to his mom and try to figure out, what's going on, like what you can, make work. That makes sense. Or just tell your man in general, like what's going on. Just try to make things work is what I'm basically saying with your man's mom before you finally, like, last resort, tell him straight up, I don't like your mom. I just don't like her. I've only did this one time, and usually the men that I've been with, their moms always love me, but for some reason this mom just did not like me and she was racist, and like that's something I just can't help. But yeah, I told him straight to his face, I don't like your mom, and I could tell that really upset him. Fortunately for me, I was with a man who was head over heels for me, so he wasn't leaving me regardless, but that still didn't make it right for me to just tell him straight up, like, I don't like your mom. Some men's mom deserve it. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and lie. I'm not gonna lie. Some men, their mom do deserve, I said their mom do deserve, they do deserve to hear that their mom is not good. But like I said, you want to make sure that this is the last resort that you end up telling him, because a lot of men are mama's boys, and if you dare disrespect their mom, they will break up with you and they will think of you differently. They'll look at you differently, and it's just not a good look. You want to try to get along with your partner's mom. Number 2 I have, never tell a man about your past. And I know some of you guys might be like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, if he's my man, shouldn't he know about my past? Yes and no. Like, you can tell him certain things about your past, but don't tell a man, like, things about your relationship. Don't tell them how many people you've slept with. Like, that's also something that they don't need to know. Don't tell a man what's happened with your ex, because some of them will try to, ask you that, like, well, what happened with your ex, or why did it end? And I promise you, when you tell these men what happened with your past relationship, they double it. So if you say, oh, my man cheated on me, what? I would never cheat on you. I would never do you like that. They'll literally tell you that, right? But then you notice later on in the relationship, they cheat on you. And they don't just cheat on you, they double it. So maybe they cheat on you multiple times. Or let's say your ex cheated on you with a stranger, but now this one cheats on you with a cousin or a very close relative. Like, they double it. I don't know why, but it is what it is. And that's why I say just never tell a man about your past relationship, like how it ended. Just literally tell them, like, it just didn't work out. It didn't work out for me and him, and that's why we split. Don't go into details of, oh, this guy broke my heart, he cheated on me, he stole all my money. Like, just don't tell them any of that, because for some reason they end up doing exactly what we told them our ex did. So just make sure that you never tell a man about that. And also, again, with how many people you've slept with, because if you tell them, oh, I slept with 3 people, then they're gonna think that you're lying. Like, 3 people, there's no way you're lying. But then if you say, oh, I slept with over 10 people, now you're, now you're a bad person. I don't know if I can actually say the word that I want to say on here, but you guys know what I mean, or hopefully you guys do. Or I'll probably just put it up but censor it or something, but hopefully you guys understand. But just make sure that you don't tell your man about, basically your past when it comes to like your ex and all that. Just don't go into detail. Number 3, I have where you live. Never tell a man where you live. I know you're like, again, what? Like, if he's my man, he should know where I live. If you've been with him for like 6 months to like a year, then that's completely fine. Like, that's normal. But I'm talking about like in the beginning stages. Like, if you don't really know the man, don't tell him where you live, because some guys out here are just really crazy. They're really crazy and you don't know their intentions. When I'm first getting to know a guy, I don't ever tell them exactly where I live. Like, if I live in an apartment complex, I tell them to pick me up at the office area. I don't give them my number, because you just don't know nowadays. Like, men are crazy. I've had some men threaten me. Like, if I didn't want to talk to them or I didn't want to be in a relationship with them, they would literally threaten me, and they'd be like, well, you're lucky I don't know where you live. Like, I really want to hurt you right now. And they would just go crazy just because either A, I didn't want to talk to them, or B, I didn't want to be in a relationship with them, and that's not okay. And you just want a peaceful sleep. You don't want to be having to sleep with one eye open and wondering like, oh my gosh, is he after me? Or like, when is he coming? Or always having to lock your door. That's another thing. Like, you just want to feel safe at all times. You don't want to think like, oh my gosh, did I lock the door? Or, oh my gosh, I have to get up now and check and make sure that everything's locked. Like, nobody wants to live like that. Like, us females usually want a peaceful life. I mean, if you like all that crazy stuff, then go ahead. But me personally, it's a no. So just make sure you don't tell these men where you live. Okay, number 4, I have never tell a man where you work. So it goes hand in hand with what I just said about where you live, but it also applies to where you work. You don't know how crazy these men are, and you don't want them showing up to your job. Let's say you guys get into it. Now he's showing up to your job, embarrassing you, and potentially getting you fired. These men out here, they don't care. And you could even say like, don't come to my work. Like, this is work. If you want to talk to me later, you can talk to me later. And some of them will be like, nah, I want to talk to you now. I want to talk to you now. And then there's nothing you can really do, you know. And especially when it gets to work, like I said, you can be fired. They can act a fool and they're yelling and stuff, and you're like, hey, I'm at work. And some of them will be like, I don't give a hoot where you are. Like, if I want to speak to you, I'm gonna speak to you here and right now. And then now you look stupid because you're like, yo, like, can you just leave? And then all eyes are on you. And then again, it just doesn't paint a good picture, and you look bad in front of your boss's eyes or any of your coworkers' eyes. And it's just not a good look. So again, hand in hand with what I just said before about where you live, don't tell these fellas where you work. Okay, number 5, do not tell men your insecurities, okay? This one should be a no-brainer, but never tell these men your insecurities, because you can literally tell a man, oh, I have acne all over my face, or oh, I have stomach fat, and they're gonna be like, what? You look beautiful just the way you are. You look wonderful. You're gorgeous. You're a star. Like, hyping you up, right? And then the moment you break up with them, or just you guys get into an argument, and you guys aren't officially like breaking up, but you get into a nasty argument. Oh, that's why you got pimples all over your face and you look like a toad, or that's why, like, they come up with crazy stuff. Or that's why, you're fat and you need to go to the gym, and you look like I'm trying to remember the thing that my ex told me. What did he said, Mrs. Claus, not Mrs. Claus. Oh, a pregnant seahorse. Yeah, it was crazy. But look that up. Or I might actually add a photo. Yeah, I think I might do that. But yeah, and it was just like, really, like, how can you turn something I told you or that I trusted you with, how can you just slap me in the face with that? And that's another thing. Once that happens, just make sure that you never tell them your insecurities again, because it's just going to be the same thing that happens, and they're just going to literally, they're going to literally come up with something again to hurt your feelings. They don't care. So just make sure that you don't ever, even with friends. I know this isn't even about friends, but I need to put a disclaimer out there as well. Friends can do the same thing, so just don't do it. Last but not least, number 6, how much money you have or how much money you make. It goes hand in hand. Make sure you don't tell any men that you're with you know, how much money you make. Because once you do that and they know that you're making money or even more money than them, let's say you want to go out to a fancy dinner, then it's going to be like, can't you pay for your own bill? Can't we split it half and half? Like, you make more money than me. Why do I have to pay for it? Like, if anything, you should be paying for me. You have more money. Like, that doesn't make any sense. I've had it one time where I actually did make more money than the guy that I was with, and he literally was like, oh, well, you make a whole bunch more money than I do. Like, why don't you treat me? And I would spoil him a lot. I would get him a lot of things, actually. So it's kind of crazy how he did that. But yeah, once he knew how much I made, he literally had his hand out. Oh, I need you to pay for this. Oh, I need you to make my car payments. Oh, I need you to take me out to this restaurant. And like, money was going down the drain. It even got to one point where literally I had to call my bank. And I think this one was with my stimulus check, my first stimulus check. And I didn't want him around. Like, I had to call to see if it hit my bank. And he was just in the room listening to the robot or the automatic voice or whatever you want to call it. And he was just listening, and then before they transferred me to an actual person, he was just like, oh, I'm just in here because I want to see if you got the money yet. And I'm like, what does it matter to you? It's like, oh, so you can actually make my car payments, you can do this, you can do that, because you know I need my car payments. And it's like, why don't you just work? Like, he was not working either. Like, he lost his job. He lost many jobs, but he just would rather sit around and be on his phone. And it drove me crazy because it's like, this is my money. This is money that I want to keep. Like, why do I have to? And I'm not a selfish person. I am not selfish. I am very giving, and I would give him a whole bunch of things. But it's like, okay, we've been broke for a long time. Now is the time, you know, that I get to enjoy my own money. You know, I'm not even really splurging. I'm not getting my nails done or anything. I'm trying to save. And here you are telling me, oh, since you have all this money, you can pay for my car payments. You can pay for, you know, expensive dinners and this and that. And it just drove me crazy. Men will literally do that. Not all men are the same. They won't all do that. Some have respect and don't even want a woman to be paying, but there are guys out there that don't have respect and that will expect you to pay, especially if you make a lot more money than them. So also, like I said, make sure you don't tell them how much money you have saved or just how much money you make in general. Just be mindful. Unless you know that he's a guy that's trustworthy and he's a hustler, he goes and he gets his own money, then that's perfectly fine. Or he's your husband, that's fine. But other than that, it's a no. It's a no for me. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, if you relate or not, and I'll see you guys in the next video.